I've been soaking these peach tree seeds and plum seeds for about 2 days now. I found that if you soak them a little bit longer, then it's easier to get the skin off. So I drained the water and now you remove the skin. I've tried it with the skin on and it doesn't work, so you got to remove that skin. So you barely start peeling it away a little bit, and once you get it past a certain point, then it kind of comes off together. There we go. And the part that you have to be careful with is the tip, because that's where the root comes out. That's where all your growth is when it sprouts. So I don't know if you can see that there. So be really careful right here. If you can see that little tip, that's where it turns into a root, comes out of there. I peeled the skin off all these. I broke a few of the tips off while I was doing it, so these are all garbage. But so these 5 little here, you can see those are plums, and that tip right there is where it grows out of. So you got to make sure that's intact. If it's not intact, then you can't really use it. So then these are all early Alberta peach seeds. So now that you've got these peeled out of the skin, you take a paper towel, and I just place them kind of in a row. And then once you've got enough in there, I don't know what enough is, but I don't like to have them touch. Then I just roll it over. And then I've got to fold it to fit in my Tupperware. So you take a Tupperware, and then you want to get it wet, but not like dripping wet. You want it to be moist. And then you set it in there. If it's too wet, it'll mold. I've had some where it was too wet and I kind of forgot about them and it went 2 weeks and the seeds are all kind of moldy. So those were the early Albertas, and then with the plum, you can see they have like a really long tip on those. And I'm just gonna I only have 5 of those done. Those ones were harder to get out of the skin. It seems like I broke the tip off of those more than the peaches, but. And then you just get that wet. Feels about right, not too wet, but then you put the lid on. And then you want to leave the lid open a little bit so it can still let some air, or let some moisture out if it needs to, if it's too wet. Then you just cover it so it's completely dark, and then set it somewhere for a week, and then I like to check on it and see where it's at. So it's been about a week, and I have my containers here. I'm gonna unroll one and take a look at them and see what they look like. So you can see on this one it has it's probably 1/2 inch. That one's probably ready to plant. The ones that aren't, this one's starting. Some of them, I don't see anything on that one. These ones look like they're starting a little bit, but this one's ready to plant. So I'll take some potting soil a little bit finer grade, and then put it in about an inch, and then just water it in good. But I like this method because then you can see if it's working or not. You see the growth, and then you can plant it, and you're not wasting your time. You know, if it's just rotten in the container, you can see that it's starting to grow. So these ones, I'll probably get new paper towels and get them wet again. That way, I found like after another week, they'll get kind of moldy if I let them just stay in the paper towel like that. For some reason, if you do new water and new paper towel, they don't get as moldy. So I got about 15 of them. I had 15 that were about 1/2 inch to 1 inch root, and I potted those up. I'm also growing some other stuff. Some onions I sprouted a week ago or two. They started coming up, and then got some broccoli coming up over here. And then the nectarines. And then I had some tomatoes. They look pretty bad because these are actually from last fall. I cut the suckers off some plants and put them in water and rooted them, and they started growing, but they don't like not enough light. And then I'm trying some apple trees, put them in water and see if they'll grow some roots, and then pot them up. But trying some different things. Here's some nectarine ones that I started from seed. These are probably a month old. They're in a 4-inch pot, but they're doing good. You just need lots of light. I started these in December, so for Utah it's probably pretty early, so I have to add a light. Here's my early Alberta peach trees I started last March. So they're coming up on a year old, but I started these from seed as well. And you can see they're growing pretty good. They're about a pencil thick. And I have 6 of those along my fence here. But they all seem to be healthy and growing. So my peach trees that are about a year old, I came inside because it's kind of cold. It's still January here. I started them in probably March, and then I didn't get them in the ground till the fall. I wasn't sure if they'd overwinter very well, and they have, so they're looking good. And I'll update more as time goes on to show you where they're at and stuff.